Okay. I think we should be live now. Very strange error starting this stream up, where Streamlabs literally would not start when I pressed the button to start. So that was really weird, but it seems we are live now. Can't be a Mitchell Mander stream without something going wrong, right? Anyways, how's it going, everyone? This is Mitchell Mander, and welcome to today's stream. I'm going to turn the volume down just slightly from the music, so it doesn't, pick up on the mic big time. That seems good. Anyways, yeah, we're going to be talking about Pokemon Horizons episode 114 in today's live discussion. The finale of the Mega Evolution special, or as I call it, the Kalos flashback arc. So, yeah, we're going to talk about it in today's live discussion. So, yeah, before we get started, just a few things. If you're brand new to the channel, you like this type of content, it'd be pretty cool if you subscribe to the channel, like the video, like the stream, watch as much of the stream as you can, and join the chat. We'd love to have you. And also, when the when the stream ends, you can also maybe consider hyping the video up, because you'll be able to hype it up post-stream. I would definitely appreciate that. That helps boost in the algorithm and get the word out to other people to join. So it'd be pretty cool if you did that, you know? Also, anyways, for those that are brand new here, that have just come in here for the first time, just a quick lowdown of what we do. Pretty much I give it about 5-10 minutes for people to show up, chit-chat for a little bit. Then I give a short summary of the episode, give my thoughts on it, assign a rating to the episode, and then I hand it over to the chat, and then we usually go on for about an hour, hour and a half. We'll talk about the episode, talk about the next episode, what we think is going to be happening next, what we'd like to see happen, all kinds of different things. Sometimes we talk about other stuff too, but try to keep it, mainly talking about, Horizons and what's going on. Also, the music you hear in the background comes from a separate stream, Video Game Study Lounge. And yeah, it's basically lo-fi remixes of video game music along with some originals here and there. You'll hear stuff from Pokemon, Zelda, Mario, Kirby, Final Fantasy, just the biggest gaming franchises. You'll probably hear something, especially if it had something, some iconic music. You'd definitely hear it here. Check it out. A link in the description. Hello, Sharon. You got some things to talk about? I see. I got some things to talk about too. Let's wait and see if we can get some more peeps up in here. But how's everyone's weekend going? Hope you're having a wonderful weekend so far. You'll be discussing about the special preview. Okay. Preferably, I'd prefer if you did that on the actual video I made the other day. But you can talk about here briefly. But, yeah. Anyways, not really a whole lot of people here so far, but we'll get started here at the 5-minute mark. But yeah. Whew. Well, we're approaching the 5-minute mark, so I'm going to go ahead and give my short summary of Pokemon Horizons episode 114. So, This episode starts off where last week's episode ended off at. Roy and Alt facing off against the two opponents at the Mayo Maze, whatever you want to call it. I think it's Count Oyster and then the Ninja Dude. And they want to battle. If we want to get to Lucario, we got to battle them. So they take out two Bug-type Pokemon, interesting ones, Escavalier and then Excelgor. And they're acting, as attack and defense. And Alt's being Alt, and this is like before he started really working together with others, because like you could see that in early Mega Voltage that Alt was kind of not really willing to work with others, and he kind of wanted to do his own thing. And that kind of just that's kind of what's happening here. He's like, his bond with Sableye has grown a bit, but he's still stubborn and kind of wants to do things his own way, and goes right in there, and he's not working together with Roy, and he's kind of getting destroyed. Whereas when Roy jumps in, he actually holds his own, even though he does eventually start to struggle because it's 2v1, so eventually he starts to have a hard time. But Alt kind of watches Roy and kind of wonders, he's like, oh, how is he able to, just maintain his cool? Why is he getting excited over here? Because Roy's like, oh, I just get super excited when I meet strong opponents. At one point, it seems like the paper in the maze, that like the paper that was like confusing Roy and Alt earlier, seems like Roy used it to his advantage, because Crocodile got cornered, and then Escavalier accidentally got stuck in the paper, and Roy used that moment to have Crocodile use Flamethrower and defeats it, but is about to get defeated itself, as there is another Pokemon present that Roy still has to deal with. However, Sableye comes in and saves the day, and thus Roy and Alt win the battle. Yay! Well, the whole area, the whole maze, or the area they're in, kind of just opens up, and there's an open area behind the maze. Pretty nice, actually. And in that maze, Lucario is hanging out, so we have our rematch against Lucario, and also Master Mayonnaise shows up and decides to watch the battle unfold. And we got two different developments here. We get Roy's development. We get Alt's development first, whereas Sableye goes up against Lucario. Crocodile actually gets knocked down temporarily, so it's kind of just Sableye versus Lucario for a little bit. It seems like Alt's starting to really understand things, and he's actually getting excited about the battle, and really wants to work, fight together with Sableye, and eventually their bond becomes so strong that he activates Mega Evolution. And Sableye Mega Evolves and actually manages to damage Lucario. Unfortunately, Sableye is not used to its Mega Evolution yet, and is struggling to move around. Eventually, it ends up getting defeated. Unfortunately. Seems like in the beginning it was struggling with its Mega Evolution, and in the present it is more used to it 1 year later. But anyways, Crocodile manages to stand back up. And, this is where Roy and Crocodile get pumped up. They sing their song that gets them pumped up, and they manage to stand up to Lucario, and their bond, it's actually kind of crazy, because the bond is so strong that it literally causes Lucario to Mega Evolve up against its opponents, through its opponent's trainer. That's actually kind of nuts. Literally Mega Evolves because of this. And they continue their battle, and after a long fought out battle, Crocodile manages to overcome Lucario and win. So, yeah, Lucario has lost, and both Roy and Alt have mastered Mega Evolution. It turns out that Master Mayonnaise was working together with those two guys earlier, and it's basically there to kind of just train trainers and their Pokemon on Mega Evolution. And yeah, Roy and Alt have successfully accomplished this. In addition to that, Lucario is actually admiring Crocolar and Roy, and Master Mayonnaise deduces that Lucario wants to go together with Roy and travel and train with him. And considering the fact that Roy managed to Mega Evolve Lucario in that moment, I think it was just meant to be. So, yep, that's how Roy caught Lucario. And then in the epilogue here, we have Roy going back to Emma to say goodbye to Alt, in which it turns out that Alt has gone out on his own journey. And of course, ends up running into Roy later on, but he leaves a message for Emma that, yeah, the Black Rayquaza is mine. So, yeah. Anywho, Roy leaves his hat behind, so Emma kind of keeps it. And then Roy gets some new clothes to match Freed's. And then, yeah. The two of them basically train for the next, I guess, travel and train for the next year. As they work together and figure out Mega Evolution, although Roy can constantly ditch his alt, which persists up until the present, until they all join together for the Rising Volt Tacklers. So, yeah, that's pretty much this episode. Anyways, so overall, I thought this was a really good episode. I think this was a solid conclusion to this mini arc. And I have to say, I actually really enjoyed these episodes. And I have to say, I am very satisfied with what we got. I thought it was really good. We got good Roy and Alt development. We got to know how they mastered Mega Evolution. How Roy got Lucario. And I thought it was really good. I'm very pleased. Lucario actually was showing some personality in this episode, which I thought was kind of interesting. So he kind of won me over, I'm not going to lie. Now, if we could see a little bit more of Lucario's personality in these upcoming episodes, that would be great. And get a little bit of focus here and there, but hey, I like it. I thought it was good. They managed to win me over, so yeah. I gotta say, it's the people that are just skipping this arc because, oh, it's just not important. We already know what's going to happen. Yeah, I kind of feel sorry for you because you're missing out on what I think is a very good arc, and you're missing out on this development. Also, if Emma decides to show up, you're also missing context there, because we could possibly see Emma in the future, even in her new design too. Who knows? But yeah, I really enjoyed these episodes. I think it was pretty good. It would have been cool to see some Mega Evolutions from the game, but oh well, it's fine. Kind of what I was expecting, considering our Arceus, the stuff we got for Arceus and the series that shall not be named was well, very minimal to say the least, and those Arceus special episodes were okay, and didn't really focus on the new mons that were present there and stuff, but yeah, I liked it. I also want to say that the animation in this episode was good. I think I don't think it's going to be improved all the way, but the battle animation was a lot better in this episode than some of the prior episodes. So that's good. Hopefully we see more of that in the upcoming episodes and we don't see, choppy battles. But yeah, I thought it was really good. It did a good job explaining, Lucario's strength, how Roy and all got Mega Evolution, all that stuff. I think it was all good. Yeah, my only gripes with this arc, I think I see your comment, Thomas. By the way, what's up? I do wish that Kilowattrel did get at least something, because it's just a recurring thing where Kilowattrel is just not doing anything. I've kind of given up at this point because it's like I've held on to hope for so long, but I don't know, man. You know, we've had the Mon for over 2 years, and it's done next to nothing. I like that it is more present now. I do like that it flies around and helps, with Crocolar on its back. That kind of gives it an interesting dynamic with it. I just wish it did a little bit more, so to say. But who knows? We got Roy battling a few people in the upcoming arc, so maybe we will see some Kilowattrel inclusion. But yeah, I think overall, very solid arc. This one was the best out of the three, obviously. 9 out of 10 in my opinion. Great episode. Very much enjoyed it. Very much enjoyed this arc. And now we are on to Blueberry Academy starting next week. Another thing to note, Liko did not appear in this episode whatsoever. In the prior episode, she didn't really appear either besides that one little flashback. But there was no flashback this time, and there was no, like, oh, hey, that was an interesting story, Roy. That's cool. At the end of the episode. Yeah, no Liko. No Dot. So I found that to be quite interesting. First episode where she doesn't appear, like, at all. Alright, anyways, let's catch back up on the chat now. 9 out of 10, gotcha. My only gripe about this episode is Kilowattrel was left out in the final scene with Emma and the scene with Roy at the clothing store. Yeah! That too. Kind of just a weird choice, but Kilowattrel did fly Roy to Kalos. That's its involvement in this arc, is that Roy flies around with Kilowattrel. It's his HM Mon. Kilowattrel will be battling more in the next arc, yeah. Yeah. Wave phone. Hello. Lucario do the baby doll eyes is way too cute. By the way, hi. How are you doing? Welcome in. And yes, that moment won me over. I was like, yep. People saying Lucario has no personality. Yeah. It clearly does. Let's just see more of it. That's what my request is. Let's see more of it in this arc. Like, they couldn't just appear when saying goodbye to Emma in the clothing store. Yeah. It might have been too big, too. To be fair. Might have been a little cramped. But yeah. Lucario with the puppy dog eyes is cute. Yep, just what Wavephone said. Having an Ampharos and Esper plush is cute. Okay. And it rescued Alt from the trap. Oh yeah, that is right. There you go, HM Mon. I want to see more of Lucario's personality in this next arc. Literally what I said, yep. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, gonna just stop for a second to say, if you could do me a favor and hit that like button, I would appreciate it. And also vote in the poll, because we have 6 people here apparently, and 9 votes, actually, excuse me. Okay, you guys have been voting. I was like, oh, no one's voting. Someone voted lower than 5, and I'd like to know why. Because 67% of the vote currently is sitting at 10-9, and 22% is 8-7. So if you're someone that didn't like this episode, step forward. I'd like to hear why. I know we got lurkers here, but if you're going to vote that low for an episode that I think the majority of people liked, I'd like to hear specifically what you didn't like about it. I don't bite. We might disagree, but I don't bite. Unless you bite me first. And it was, so when Roy and Crocodile had that red aura around them, was Roy using the power of aura, or was that supposed to be symbolize Roy and Crocodile's strong bond? It could be both. A little of both. Lucario could be sensing that aura within Roy. And senses the strong bond between him and Crocodile. Because we saw that before in the rhyme battle. So I'm curious. We know Ash has the power to use aura, but yeah, Ash is irrelevant though to the series. But yeah. Alt had a green aura around him to symbolize him and Sableye. Got a strong bond to where Sableye could Mega Evolve. Like, could Roy use the power of aura like Ash or no? I have no clue, Sharon. You could insinuate he does, but yeah. All living things in Pokemon World have can sense aura to some degree, but that doesn't make him an aura user like Ash. Yeah. Man, it's been quiet here in these streams lately. You guys still interested in this stuff? Gotta get some more peeps up in here. Hold on, y'all. Okay. Anyways, Lucario has the power to feel and use aura within other living beings. It seems like most people like these 3 episodes, which is good. Hi, Kelsey. Yeah. So the people that have watched these episodes, I think the general consensus is that they were good. Although there are some people that currently refuse to watch these episodes, and I still am just shaking my head at them because, yeah, you choose to miss out on this. You're kind of, missing out on part of the series, especially if Emma decides to show up later on. We don't know if she will, but the fact is she could. So, yeah, just putting that out there. I'm very curious to see who Liko will battle in the BBA arc. Me too. I have a feeling it's going to be Anne, but like I don't want it to be Anne necessarily. Like I do think it'd be interesting to see their final evolutions duke it out. But I kind of want her to battle someone else. And in my video that I put out literally yesterday, I said, could be a surprise. I mean, if Nimona and Penny are here, don't be surprised if Arven shows up. If they decide to utilize him. Fingers crossed. Could be Kieran, but I feel like Arven works better than Kieran. I feel like Alt and Kieran could be rivals. Liko and Arven, because they would match up with everyone. Roy, Nimona, Dot, Penny, you know, Liko potentially with Arven, and then Alt, Kieran. See? Works out. So with the special preview for Arc 6, we have Lacey versus Alt, Roy versus Drayden, and Dot versus Carmen, but who is Liko battling? We will find out soon. We know Anne is participating, but I kind of don't want Liko and Anne to face off against each other. Though they might. I kind of just want to... I would prefer someone else to kind of just put the element of surprise out there. Also, it makes me wonder if this is going to be like a tournament kind of thing going on. I think that would be pretty neat. I think Horizons would benefit from having like one of these things, especially if we're currently in a training arc, so to say. You know, them battling in a tournament-like thing, I think would be kind of interesting. Though, that's to be seen. Guess we'll find out when we get the summaries for the next few episodes that are probably coming in the next week. Are they still mad about the whole Ash thing? Who? Like, I guess, could you elaborate a little bit? Will Kieran finally appear in the next arc? I don't know. We'll see. Alt Sableye is so cute. I like it. He's a bro. I think it will be Arven. I think they're saving him for last. Yeah, but then again, you know, we kind of are getting pretty late into the series, so I feel like if he's gonna show up, it's gotta be pretty soon, or we're gonna kind of miss the boat. Also, we have an Astonished versus Astonished battle, which reminds me of the Metapod Harden versus Harden, where the battle was just a gimmick. Yeah, that could be it. Could be a little nod to that. Would have made sense for Amethio or the Explorers to be here. I don't think so, personally. Because I guess my response to that would be, like, what would be the Explorer's purpose of being there? Would it be to kind of just spy on them because they have, because Rise and Bolt Tacklers are there? Or possibly to see kind of how the Blueberry Academy functions? Also, Methio, I kind of think he's still doing his lone wolf stuff, where he is searching for the Zygarde cells on his own. It would be kind of neat if we got an episode where we just had a Methio basically finding Zygarde cells. But, like, not make it boring, but, like, make it interesting, you know? Because I don't know how I feel about him just getting Zygarde off screen. I thought that was very abrupt at the end of Mega Voltage. So I'd kind of like an episode where he's gathering some cells and something like that, and kind of how he's able to get Zygarde assembled, like how he got 10% so fast. I think Anne will have a new Pokemon to counteract Charcadet. You think so? She is battling with Sandslash. We know that. We did see Samurott too, so we know she has those two, but could she have a mysterious third Pokemon? Guess we'll find out. Jeez Louise. Sorry. Sorry, I was... Anyway, sorry, I was just getting a phone call just now, but I'll call them back in a little bit. Okay. Also, we will have a episode with the weird Ditto blocks. I don't know if we'll have like a full-on episode with it, but it's a little funny moment with Liko kind of binding them. But I do kind of want to see. These upcoming episode titles and summaries that we're going to be getting here soon. Kind of what tells us what's going on in this arc specifically. The fans of the series? I think most people have kind of gotten... I think most people that watch Horizons don't really mind that Ash is not here. I think the people that like really want Ash don't watch Horizons and kind of just judge it without it, which I think is kind of the wrong way of doing things, personally. I don't really see it so much. I do see some people saying certain things like, hey, it'd be nice if he came back for this, for this episode or something like that. I still think the movie's the best route to take, but I don't want to talk about that personally. Just because it kind of, gets into a whole discussion. I hope the whole arc doesn't literally take place in BBA. I hope they visit other Unova locations between the BBA episodes. I don't know if that's going to happen necessarily. We could get that, but I think realistically they're probably just going to do BBA for our Unova representation. I could be wrong. This series has surprised me, and I like surprises, so as of right now I'm going to go into this with with low expectations and thinking we're just doing BBA, but if they throw us a curveball and we actually go into Unova, that would be cool. I would be down for that. But I don't expect the whole arc to take place in BBA. I think it's going to be similar to Kitakami, where you're there for maybe 8 episodes, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 10 at most episodes. I think it will take a good portion of the arc, and then once we're done here, we'll move on to whatever's next. Which is hard to say, whatever's next. Give me 1 second, I'm just going to respond to my buddy here. Okay. Anyways, back on it. Will Arc 6 be the final arc? I feel like there'd be indications that we're heading to the end. I almost want to say the series might actually spell out, hey, this is the final arc. Which they could very well do. Or, this could very well be the end. But the series would end in March, though. That being said, I wouldn't mind the series taking a 6-month break 6 or 7 month break before we start the next series. I feel like the anime kind of needs it to catch back up with the production of the series, but it also would hurt my channel because that's kind of my main thing here. I think Alt versus Lacey will be a 2v2 battle. Lacey will use Gramble and Terra Fairy Exadrill, and Alt will just use Sableye and Mega Dragonite. That could be the case. I guess we'll see what the rules entail for these upcoming battles. Well, Cyrano, Cryano, however you pronounce his name, battle anybody? I don't know. I feel like that's less likely to happen, but that would be interesting. The Darth Sparatisa. I can't pronounce anything. The Darth Spartacus. I think that's Spartacus. That's how you pronounce the name. Hey, what's up? Welcome in. Ash versus Roy. Who wins? Currently Ash, but Roy's not a weakling by any means by this point in the series. Also, Roy's only got like 4 Pokemon at his disposal, and one of them, literally, he is temporarily borrowing until Freed returns. But Pikachu versus Captain Pikachu would be kind of neat. Anyways, I don't really want to go into major details, but yeah. Drayden will use the dragon, Terra Dragon, and I don't know if I can pronounce this Pokemon name, Archulodon. Probably just butchered its name in either Sceptile or Flygon. We should see Crispin where he uses Magmortar, and Terra Fire Blaziken, and Amaryllis use a Terra Steel, Metagross, and Skarmory. If they show up, we still don't know yet if they are showing up or not. We'll find out soon enough, though. Right now, only 2 out of the 4 are represented, and Kieran is also not present at the moment. But again, they could be hiding them. I mean, Carmen, they didn't show off in the original trailer, and Carmen's here. Also, Penny and Nimona. We knew about Nimona, but Penny's here as well. That's what I'm saying, is like it would be kind of neat if like we got Penny here, Arvin's here as well, but I guess we'll see what happens. How long do you want it to go? 150, 160 episodes? Maybe around 150. The last few series have kind of hit that episode count, so probably. I can see the series running until next September, and if it does, then we will have well over 150 episodes. But if it ends, I kind of think the Pokemon anime needs a break for a little bit. And if that's the case, if like the generations are going to be more than 3-year cycles and we're going into a 4, potentially 5-year cycle going forward, then we could stretch it out. And maybe the series takes like a little bit of a break for a little bit. And then the next series starts in like 2027 or something like that. Who knows? Roy is the strongest battler of the 3, and I'd say Liko and then Dot. And then where does Alt stand in that equation? He only has 2 Pokemon, but one of them's a frickin' Dragonite, and it can Mega Evolve. Something to think about. It's a pretty powerful ally, so to say. Do you feel like everyone got in focus? I would say so. I got concerned about Roy for a little bit because Liko is kind of the main focus of the first part of Pokemon Horizons. And Liko's still getting some pretty good focus in part 2. Roy is kind of like lacking a little bit, but then we got these episodes where he's like essentially the main character here, with the alt being the secondary main character of these 3 episodes. But yeah, Dot got some pretty good focus. She got Gimme Gold just recently too, so she's still getting focused. Not as much as earlier in the series. I mean, she's had her development, and she is a developed character. There hasn't been as much with her lately, and Alt has gotten a pretty decent amount of focus lately, especially for being a character introduced pretty late into the series. You know, halfway, if so to say, more than halfway. And I think they're already doing a decent job with him. Although he's going to probably still be one of those characters that's going to be hit and miss with people when it's all said and done. I mean, only showing 2 out of 4 BB Elite 4 members does not really make sense to me, you mean? To be fair, Lacey and Drayton are the 2 most popular of the 4. Well, yeah, but you say that, but prior Pokemon series has skipped out on some Elite 4 members. Literally, X and Y, we only got 2 of them, to my knowledge. And one of them didn't even show up in the main series. It was in the Mega Evolution special. The other 2, we literally had to wait until, what? The series that shall not be named for them to show up? So, just saying. There have been characters that haven't, like, showed up previously. But yeah. So it's not really a surprise to me. I just don't like the fact that Horizon is kind of falling into what prior series has done and leaving out characters that should be definitely represented here. Still waiting for that Arven focus. Just saying. One appearance ain't gonna, like, do it for me. Have you watched those Pokemon specials on YouTube? Which ones? The very specific ones. There's the ones that the Pokemon Company like have that are like Pokemon Evolutions, Pokemon Generations, Pokemon Twilight Wings, that Scarlet and Violet series, that Hisui series. Then there's Poketunes. Which one are you referring to? I think Liko will catch up to Roy. Probably. I mean, technically she was winning their battles in the beginning, but now it seems like she's caught up. Anyways, sorry. I'm getting a bunch of messages during my stream today, so I'm kind of just trying to do this while also responding to them. So sorry. Pokemon episodes on those Poketune episodes on YouTube, a few. I want some more Metheo episodes. We'll probably get it eventually. Like I said, we'll probably see an episode with him finding Zygarde cells, but do it in an entertaining fashion. Because like I said, him getting 10% Zygarde out of nowhere, especially so fast off-screen, kind of was off-putting in my opinion. So if we can get an episode that kind of showcases how he's finding them, that would be great. Everybody's talking to me at once. Oh my gosh. I want an episode focusing on Amethio with him gathering up cells and get Zygarde 50% form. Yeah, pretty much what I've been saying. I really hope Anne and Nimona get a lot of focus. I don't know, man. This was something that I've been concerned about since Horizons began. When Horizons first started, I remember saying, "Hey, I'd like Anne. I think it's really neat that Liko got a fast friend early in the series, considering how Liko is very shy and not really social, and she ends up getting a very outgoing, very extroverted friend right off the bat." And then after the first 2 episodes, she unfortunately got relegated to like a side character, as I'm going to call it. And from there, they just haven't done a whole lot with her. I did the whole, is Anne part of the Explorers? Kind of going back and thinking about that. I kind of was doing that to maybe give her a little bit more importance in the series and kind of make her maybe see the error of her ways eventually and, be a good guy. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case, and we kind of only see her sporadically in the series. Like, when we see her, it's nice, but I don't expect them to do, like, a whole lot with her, like, at this point. Unfortunately. Nimona would be great, too. I mean, she is one of those, like, static characters where she's, like, doesn't need, like, a ton of development. She's already kind of, like, a very interesting character in her own regard, but it would be nice to see a little bit more of her. And if Arven does show up, maybe we can get a little bit of insight with him. And maybe we ask her about him or something like that. I don't know. Just speculating. That'd be kind of cool. We never saw Karen or Will, right? See, that's what I mean. Is like there's... Okay. Okay, people. Alright, enough of looking at my phone and messages. I'm going to focus on the stream until it ends. But yeah, there's just characters that just never shown up in the series that I really feel would be nice if we saw them. So, Horizons having characters from the games that don't show up doesn't surprise me. That's just something I've come to expect from the Pokemon anime. Not to the same degree as the series that shall not be named, but yeah, I expect some characters might not be present. Like, at this point, I doubt any of the Team Star members are going to be present, besides Penny, of course. I've kind of given up on that. Not that I was a big fan of Team Star anyways, but heck, Team Yell showed up, and I hate Team Yell. Even if it was just for one episode or a little cameo possibly later on. I don't know. I can't remember. Do you think that we will see Zayama reunite with Roy and the other Rainbow Tacklers to team up with the Stop Spinel? It's possible. They got an ally in her. We could see her with her updated design, because when we saw Emma, it was, before the time skip. She was in her original design, but she's clearly an adult. It's pretty clear that she's older already. So, seeing her in her new design after the 1-year time skip, I wouldn't be surprised if the series decides to bring her back. But we do have that connection, so I would not be surprised. And I wouldn't be surprised if she gave Roy his hat back, too. But that's to be seen. Fun fact, Sableye appears in Pokemon Chronicles, a series which I find underrated. Sableye creeped me out a little bit when I first saw it. Oh yeah, Pokemon Chronicles. Which is essentially just the special episodes, but just the dub doing them. And there's plenty of other special episodes that the dub just did not touch. which was very unfortunate. Brock meeting Silent, no dub. Silent meeting Clement and Bonnie, no dub. But then that one stupid The Legend of XY or whatever it was, special, the one that aired before the Clement meeting, or the Silent meeting Clement and Bonnie episode, yeah, was not good. We never saw Chantal or Grimsley either. Yeah, see what I mean? Nessa appeared in Twilight Rings, but didn't appear in the actual, like, anime series. Also to see ZA, Emma, see how Alt has grown as a character when he first met him. Yeah, that'd be nice. She'd probably say that Roy has rubbed off on him pretty well. But yeah, that's what I mean is, like, they're just characters that don't appear, but it annoys me when, like, a more significant character just doesn't show up. And it does rub me the wrong way that the prior series didn't showcase, like, most of the gym leaders. Like, only some of them were accounted for. And we had one of them show up in Horizons. Still missing several. That I just don't think is happening at this point unless they show up in the next series. But, like, at that point, it's like we're, like, 2 generations away from that when they should have originally appeared. I imagine ZAM will have a Mega Malamar and maybe also her Mawile Lucario from the ZA games. Okay, again, let's, like, not talk about ZA. Like, go into details of, like, certain, like, characters and their teams in ZA, please. I still haven't played through all of ZA, so no more. Gotta like, chill on that stuff. I want to experience it for myself, please and thanks. I don't mind talking about her design, but, like, talk about specific characters or team comps in the game, it's gonna kind of just ruin the experience for me. So just please, no. Anyways, well, guys, we are coming up to the 1 hour mark here. Is there anything else you want to talk about regarding this episode or the next episode going in the Blueberry Academy? Any predictions on what you think is coming next? I guess my next thing we're going to talk about is going into these next episodes. What do you think is going to be the result of these matchups? Roy versus Nimona, who's winning? Roy versus Drayden, who's winning? Alt versus Lacey, who's winning? Dot versus Carmen, who's winning? And then Liko versus whoever she faces. Whether it's Anne or Arvin or Kieran or someone else. Who's winning? Carmen, user Mighty Anna in Arc 6. Well, don't know if that's going to happen anyways. I don't see Liko, Roy, Alt, and Dot all winning. Yeah, probably not. I do think there's going to be some victories here and there. Nimona sweep Roy's entire team. I see what Thomas wants. I don't know if she's going to sweep his entire team. We don't even know if it's going to be a 3v3, 2v2, or 1v1, or a double battle, or whatever. We will find that out in 6 days. The question is, what if Roy wins again? What if Roy wins again? Oh boy. Huh. I think Roy could probably win against Drayden. I'm wondering if Alt potentially might lose to Lacey. And they might have a rematch because Alt gets kind of nervous because he's facing off against a girl and he gets choked up or whatever, and just his nervousness causes him to lose, and then he has to like overcome his weakness and win the next time. I don't know. Just a thought. Dot versus Carmen. I can see Dot winning that one and Carmen getting very angry. As for Liko, if it's going up against Anne, it could go either way. Liko already defeated Anne back at the Roger Academy, back in Trestle debut, so... If he wins again, it would be a big blow to the series. I would not take victories seriously moving forward. Okay. Just gonna put it out there. It could possibly happen, and we also need to take into account that Lucario is no weakling. It clearly is pretty formidable. Not to mention Mega Evolution boosted, so just gotta put that out there. But it doesn't mean that Roy's gonna necessarily win. They could have a drawn-out battle and Roy ultimately loses. Which would be kind of something that could potentially cause Roy to rethink things, and then he wins against Drayden or something like that. Okay. Once again, we're approaching the 1 hour mark here, so I just want to ask if you guys could do me a favor. If you haven't already, hit that like button and vote in the poll if you haven't already. Currently, we are sitting at 11 votes. Not bad. Currently, 10-9 is overwhelmingly winning this poll with 73% of the votes. 8-7 is currently sitting at 18, and then lower than 5 is 9. So you guys got anything else for me today? Because we may potentially end things around the 1 hour mark here, maybe 1:10. We'll see. See what else we got here. If Roy beats Nimona again, I don't think people will be a fan of that. We'll see how the internet reacts. It also depends on how it's handled, too. Roy has to lose to set the narrative that he needs to train to get stronger to give a good reason to enroll in the BBS. You mean BB-8? But yeah, I see what you mean. We'll see how they handle it. They got 6 days to kind of see what happens. All I'll say is if Roy does end up ultimately winning, don't need to message me all over the place. I will find the information out probably sometime during my workday. Whether he wins or loses. We will see. What in the world is this song? Okay. Big shot, okay, from Coffee Date. Interesting. Lucario fighting type moves won't work on Decidueye, who is part ghost, so maybe Lucario will use something like Ice Punch or Thunder Punch on Decidueye? Possibly. That's Nemona's Decidueye, right? Or is that somebody else's? Or do we know? Nemona. That's Nemona's because we see Lucario in the next scene. I see. What if it's Drayden's? I'm just kidding. I don't know about the rest of you all, but everything's been super laggy trying to look anything up lately. So I don't know if it's because of all the stuff that happened earlier this week or not, but I have been having the hardest time actually being able to like look anything up. It's getting kind of annoying, not gonna lie. Also, it could be very well on my end too. Who knows? Okay, she only has 2 known Pokemon. Her Pomo evolved into Palmot. Oh yeah, I forgot that one moment where Palmot got sprayed with the oil earlier on in Horizons. That's funny. Nemona's Decidueye in the DLC, I see. Did I realize something? Game Freak really loves it. It's grass ghost types. The first pair was introduced in XY, yet there are more of them than rock ground types in the series. Really? Interesting. Oh yeah, I forgot. A certain tree was wasn't it a ghost grass? Game Freak has not done Fire Fairy or Rock Ghost type. Fire Fairy isn't Delphox Fire Fairy? Or am I thinking there's that Fire Psychic? Actually, you're right. It's Fire Psychic. That was Fire Fairy for a second, but is there no Fire Fairy? Delphox is Fire Psychic, yep. Okay, I guess so. Maybe we'll get one soon. Anyways. Victini should have been changed to Fire Fairy, and Houndstone should have been changed to Rock Ghost. Oh, really? But how would Rock Ghost work? That seems kind of physical. Though it could be kind of like with everything else. I don't know. Okay. Guys, got anything else for me today? Phantom line, Punkaboo line, Decidueye, Dillamies, yep, Bamblegas line, and Palchageist line. That is true. I can imagine a fairy fire nymph-like character Pokemon and some rock ghost possessed monster. Oh, my arm. Also, so many normal flying types. Yeah. A lot of fire ghost types? Yeah. Pretty much. Anyways, so many people are just messaging me right now. It's getting kind of a little overwhelming. We're trying to do this streamed. We need another water fire type since Volcanion is the only one to have this type. Guess we'll see what happens. Anyways, is there anything else regarding this episode in the next? Or anything? I think we might wrap things up here in a minute, as I got some things to do now. Not to mention I'm getting bombarded with messages right now by like 5 different people while trying to do this streamed. So I think I might have to. I guarantee you, as soon as I stop the stream, everyone's gonna stop messaging me. But I do think I gotta do a few things here, so. There's a scrap steel Pokemon with the fireball in its nose, and it should come back in the future. Yeah, maybe. When do you think Charcadet will evolve in the next arc? I don't know. Maybe midway or towards the end? I don't know. It's hard to say anymore. Wait, we never got any hint that Master Mayonnaise is related to Karina, which is a bit of a letdown. It just means that he doesn't seem to have any relation with Karina. I think people just speculated that. To be honest with you, I kind of forgot about it because the series didn't really like imply anything. So yeah. Plus, hopefully, Hatterem will participate in battle in the next arc. We'll see. We will see. Okay. I got nothing else to say. Alrighty. I'm pretty much out of things to say as well, and I got some things I gotta do today. So, this will be the last call for any chats before we head on out. Well, BBA focuses on double battles and Hatterem as a support mon, so yeah, that could be participating. Charcadet and Hatterem in a double battle would be kind of neat. Just saying. Anyways, anything else, guys? Crickets. Okay. Well, I believe it's time to probably wrap things up here. I actually gotta head out now and get some lunch and get a few things done before I have my party at my house tonight. So probably wrap things up here. It would be cool if Heteran learns Mystical Fire to power up Charcadet. That'd be cool. We'll see. We'll see what happens, Thomas. That would be neat. That's it for me. And with that said, I think we're gonna call it here. So yeah, fun like always. Gonna go ahead and in the poll, we got 10-9 overwhelmingly winning, 75% of the votes, which means 9 people voted for 10-9, and then 2 people 8-7, got 17% of the vote, and then 1 person said lower than 5 and did not show up to say why. So whatever. I guess if it's you didn't like the episode, I suppose. I guess I disagree, but yeah. Anywho, yeah, we're gonna wrap things up today. That was fun like always. I gave the episode a 9. We'll just stick with 9 because 10-9 won the poll, so makes sense to me. Anyways, y'all, this upcoming week, well, starting tomorrow, really, we are going to get back on ZA. We'll be streaming that. I want to try and get further in the game this week. Hopefully, we can wrap the game up maybe in the next week or so, and then we'll be starting Age of Imprisonment after that. And at some point, I'm going to have to squeeze in this Bonanza DLC that I did not do in September. That one's on me. And somewhere in there, I'm going to do Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3. So, lots of stuff planned for the next 2 months leading up into 2026. So, yeah. Anyways, that's all I got for today's stream. So, if nothing else, thank you guys for joining me. Whoever's here, thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us today. We'll do this again next week. And with that said, yeah, I am done for today. So, guys, have a good day or night wherever you're at. And I'll see you all later. Bye now.